The high-speed trains coming to the end of the line and heading for retirement. Now, if you tried to travel on the railways in the last few days and found your service has been cancelled because of faults with new trains, well, you might think this isn't the best time to get rid of old ones. However, the high-speed train still running on the line from Sheffield to London is about to make its final appearance. For people at Neville Hill Depot in Leeds who've worked on them all their lives, this is a fond farewell. Tom Ingle climbs on board.
They sold it as the age of the train. And boy, hasn't it aged well. But good things eventually run up to the buffers. The high-speed train, or HST, bowed out from the East Coast Line a couple of years ago. Now it's leaving the Sheffield to London run this weekend.
Right, here we are then, 43102's main alternator.
And that means big changes for the staff who look after them at Neville Hill Depot in Leeds.
I've worked on these since 1981 and it will be how can we say, a little bit strange walking into the shed without an HST there. Sometimes they do foxes, but yes, I know I'm inside out, Tom.
But perhaps British Rail's proudest boast at the moment is a 125-mile-an-hour high-speed train.
Designed as a stopgap, the prototype HST emerged in 1972. It's often argued its pointy-nosed persona and speed saved British Railway's passenger business. One of the Neville Hill power cars, which still retains the world diesel loco speed record, has been painted in an old livery and will make one final intercity journey to York and the National Railway Museum.
I grew up in the Midlands and we were among the last regions to get hold of the HSTs on our passenger services. I still really clearly remember my first journey northwards on one. The automatic doors inside, the speed of the takeoff and, yes, the tannoy announcements too. To sit in the cab of what is still the world's fastest diesel locomotive with my hand on the power handle, oh, it's a thrill.
I don't think any other vehicle will ever get the amount of running mileage what these vehicles have put in.
They've got to go because they're not quite up with modern standards in terms of accessibility for passengers. They still discharge effluent onto the track, and unfortunately these things, you know, nowadays, quite rightly, you know, legislation moves on, and so the trains have to retire graciously.
Some will be preserved by rail enthusiasts, some have moved to Scotland. But from our railways, they ride off into the sunset with nothing to prove. The great survivor, the great stopgap saviour. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Neville Hill in Leeds.
I'm sure.